back. We are fucking back.
As Ray said, we're fucking back. And this is the Split Personalities podcast hosted by your Cleveland Twins. This is Bob. That's Ray. We're your host. We are...
Cheers.
We are cheersing before I say the rest of this.
Yeah. As usual, Masthead beers.
Masthead beers all the way. Shout out Masthead. You know, I'm going to have to tag them in something because I haven't done that in a while.
You know, I don't know if I've ever brought this glass on camera. I feel like I might have, but just in case, I want to say Courtyard Brewery.
Mine might have broken. I feel like I had one.
I did break one. This is not my original.
Okay.
I had John.
That's the one.
I had John pick this up.
That's from New Orleans.
Yeah.
Okay. Ray and I have been to New Orleans.
NOLA.
Two times?
Two times.
One for our joint bachelor party and another time for our cousin's bachelor party in NOLA because he was so inspired by ours that he had to do his there.
He had to go do his there and take shrooms.
Oh, exactly. Take shrooms. I don't think I took shrooms there, but I did some sort of drug.
The only thing I've ever done is weed, but I don't think I could ever do shrooms.
Actually, not there. In Toronto, I was hitting that weed pen in Toronto.
Oh, well, you need to do shrooms then.
No. We have a buddy who did shrooms. We got a
mental breakdown.
Yes. Shout out to you if you know who you are. We love you.
Yeah, we're going to say any names.
Anyways. So we are your hosts, Bob and Ray. As I was going to say, we are two twins who are entering their late 30s and got bored with their lives and started to do what a lot of hacks do our age and older and even younger. We started a podcast because we think we're really important and opinionated, and we can't just keep our opinions to ourselves. We need the world to understand what we think and say, and we are very self-important.
Try and get that Amy Poehler good vibes money.
There we go.
But did I say this? Courtyard Brewery, New Orleans. I know we said New Orleans, but Courtyard Brewery, go visit it. I love the.
It's a cool, unique glass.
I love the minimalist style of this glass.
Yeah.
But yeah,
there you go. I'm rocking my Beer Day 2025 Ohio glass. Shout out to the local breweries here in Ohio. We picked ours up in Noble Beast Brewery. Shout out Noble Beast.
Noble Beast.
Ray's favorite spot.
For sure.
Mine is still probably Masthead. But, as we continue to drink Masthead beer. Yeah. So, last time we spoke to y'all, the folk out there, we talked about a cult classic film. And you know what? We love doing that so much, we thought, why don't we just stick with the cult classic films?
We did talk, which is the cult classic film we talked about?
Well, last time we talked about Leon the Professional.
No, we talked about Batman last week.
Oh, shit. Okay, 2 weeks ago we talked
I would say the 1989 version for sure, cult classic.
Okay, oh God, Batman, you know what? We just did
that.
It's
like is it 3 movies in a week? Here's the thing, our lives, I feel like, have become very busy.
Yes.
And
we don't have a lot of time to prep.
Yeah.
So we're going with things that off the cuff, I could talk about that.
We're trying to devote our time to you guys and make sure we're staying consistent.
Now, if you want us to dive deeper into things, you could make this a 9-to-5 gig for us. You know, you gotta support the show.
Yes.
Give that moolah. You can do that 2 ways, by the way. You can either look in our description. If you're on YouTube, look in the description. If you are on Instagram, look in our bio. But we will have links to if you're a real one, monthly support through Patreon. We would love to see you do that. If you can't do that, we do take one-time donations and support through PayPal. Both of those links can be found either through YouTube or Instagram. Check the description, check the bios. Actually, it's also in our YouTube bio, our YouTube page bio. But yeah, Instagram bio, you'll find it. Don't worry. I'll put it in the description. You'll check them out. So, last time we met, we talked about Batman. But 2 weeks ago, we talked about Leon the Professional, which was a cult film. And we are revisiting cult films because in that episode, we talked about another cult film that we were going to talk about in the upcoming weeks and days. And we're doing it. Yeah. And that film is The Usual Suspects.
Disclaimer. We do not support Kevin Spacey.
He's kind of trash. Kind of a trash person.
I feel like we have put off talking about this movie because of him.
It's hard to this in House of Cards, you know, like there's a lot of very iconic, Seven, very iconic spacey films in TV that one would in this space love to talk about. But I do feel like Ray says you kind of have to throw that disclaimer out there because he's kind of a terrible human being.
Yeah. So, I mean, this movie is so good. In a weird way, it's hard to call a cult classic today just because
it's become so well known.
Was a indie cult classic when it came out.
It was made, the budget was $6 million.
Yeah.
So we're not talking about a huge budget.
And I guess apparently this was a retrospective I watched, but in the 90s, if you were to say who is Kaiser Sose to someone else and they would get that reference, you'd be like, okay, you're cool. You know movies. Now it's if you don't know that line, you don't watch movies at all.
Right.
I mean, come on.
I mean, if you're a movie lover,
this is part of the movie lexicon now.
It's definitely, I don't know if I should bring it up now, but it's definitely the most iconic ending to a movie.
One of the most iconic lines, who's Kaiser Sose?
Right.
Kaiser Sose. You say Kaiser Sose and you don't get that reference. Have you ever watched a movie?
And this predates the whole, for those who aren't as old as Ray and I, this movie predates the whole M. Night Shyamalan fad,
twist,
where there was where his movies always ended with a twist. So you would go into an M. Night Shyamalan movie and you'd be like, okay, I'm expecting some big twist at the end of this movie. Yeah. A lot of the times you'd be let down because nothing really lived up to his early stuff. But this movie predates this, and spoiler alert, there's a huge twist at the end of this movie. You know?
I feel even if you were to show this movie to someone today who had never seen it, with I feel twists have become a fad in movies. Like a Girl on the Train or whatever. Yeah, exactly. That kind of shit. Thrillers. Yeah, exactly. Every thriller has to have a good twist. It seems like. But if you were to show someone this movie today, even if they were a movie fanatic and kind of had that twist kind of thing in their mind, right? I think they do a good job of hiding the twist. Oh yeah, I mean they show the one of the characters who is involved in the twist, in the scenes in which one of the iconic scenes where they're attacking a ship at the end of the movie. They show him, off in the they keep cutting to him doing something, not in the midst of the action that is involved with the twist. So, they do a good job of and they make the character, to be honest, very vulnerable, feel very meek, vulnerable, weak, inconspicuous. So they do a really good job of hiding who the real person somebody at the end of the movie is revealed to be Kaiser Soze. I think you even get that sense, before the end of the movie. Maybe? Yeah. Or, I don't know. We'll talk about it. Okay. So, essentially, the movie starts off at the end. I mean, I'm blanking on the actor's name, but it's an Irish actor. The character's name in the movie is Dean Keaton, a sort of inglorious cop. It used to be on the beat. He had to leave in shame. There's a lot of indictments during his time as a cop. Seven in total. We learned from another person who is still an agent who knows Keaton, Dean Keaton. Yeah. Who says when he was on the force, he was indicted 7 times. Every time the witnesses tried to testify against him, they either went missing or were dead. So this guy is a shady cop and a shady former cop who had to leave the force. I would say also the number of incredible actors who come out of this. Yeah, it is shocking. For a $6 million super indie film. It's shocking how low the budget is and how extremely talented the actors are. Yeah, they're all to this day. You look even back. Kevin Spacey with his baggage, he was a fucking great actor. Kevin Spacey, Stephen Baldwin, the guy who was in A Few Good Men, Gabriel Byrne. Yeah, the comedian. Gabriel Byrne played Dean Keaton, so he's an Irish actor. Benicio del Toro played Fred Fenster.
Todd Hockney was played by Kevin Pollak.
Sicario himself.
There you go. Agent Dave Kuyan was played by Chaz Palminteri. Palminteri. I'm mispronouncing his name.
Oh yeah, he was in a ton of stuff too in the 90s. Like remember
even the lawyer Kobayashi, I feel like is recognizable.
Gangster, I mean, he was in a ton of gangster movies, but there's a gangster movie, something Kid in the Bronx or something.
I don't know. Anyways, you're right. Once Upon a Time in Brooklyn or something.
Brooklyn, yeah.
I don't know. Anyways, if you're a film lover, like you're gonna know most of the actors in this film. And it's insane.
And for some of them, it's like their breakout role.
Right. It's insane in one's mind to think that they brought this talent pool together in such a low-budget film. Mm-hmm. And so the movie starts off, Dean Keaton, who is Gabriel Byrne's character, is on the boat. He's been shot. He is sort of leaning up against a barrel. He's breathing his dying breath. And a man in a trench coat who is unidentified, we don't see his face, is talking to him and essentially, asking him, "Are you ready? Like I'm about to kill you," And there's this sort of calm conversation between the two of them, as if like Dean Keaton has given up. He realizes he's about to die here. He even asks what the time is, and this hooded figure looks at his watch and says 12:30. And he says, "Are you ready?" And Dean Keaton takes a couple puffs of his cigarette, and just like shakes his head.
Well, it also says like a nice line. I think just kind of like one-off, like sarcastic line, which you will not get at the beginning of the movie, especially if you've never seen this movie. But the character says, I don't know. I feel like he says something or asks Dean something to the effect of like, "How you feeling?" or like, "How you doing, Dean?" or something like that. And he looks at the guy who's like, about to kill him or shoot him, dead. He just kind of like scoffs, like laughs, like to the side, and he goes like, "I can't feel my legs, Kaiser."
Yeah.
Which just feels like, in a weird way, you feel like that is important, but at the same time, you're just like, this is the very beginning of the movie.
Maybe he got shot in the spine or something.
You're like, what the fuck does that mean? And he is crawling on the ground. So
Yeah. So then the explosion happens on the ship. There's a pan shot to a stack of what are those called? Pallets.
Yeah, you're supposed to think someone behind it.
Yeah, and then it cuts back to a text across the screen 6 weeks prior.
I guess that never registered with me.
I mean, I guess I never really thought that this...
I watched a retrospective about this, and they say, like, this movie basically takes place in a 6-week period, and it just kind of blew my mind. I was like, oh, wow, that's like... That feels so short for, like, everything that happens.
Oh, yeah, there's a ton of events that happen in this film. And yes, I mean, I even kind of... I was writing notes while I was watching this, and I saw that text across the screen. I was like, oh, that's important. 6 weeks. This events of this take place in 6 weeks. And so essentially the cops are when it cuts from the ship to an apartment scene where the cops are breaking into Steve Baldwin's apartment. His character is McManus. Michael McManus is the character played by Stephen Baldwin, the brother to the acclaimed Alec Baldwin.
Alec Baldwin. He's kind of like you eventually get these characters eventually become a crew, but like he's kind of the hothead of the crew.
Yeah, it's like probably
expert killer, hothead of the crew.
Yeah, I don't want to cast aspersions to Stephen Baldwin, but I'm sure this is probably the most memorable.
Yeah, I don't think I've ever seen him in anything, and oh my god, he is just as memorable as any other. He's just as memorable as like Kevin Spacey's character to me.
Yeah, Stephen Baldwin plays his role.
He plays his role perfect. Yeah. That's the thing about this movie. I think everyone plays their role perfectly.
The casting was done very well. Like each person's personality fits the character they're meant to play extremely well.
Even, and we'll get to Del Toro's character, but like even he takes liberties with his character that I think pay off too.
Right. So the cops break into McManus's apartment, and he's bad. He's like pretty much like his attitude and the rest of the group of usual suspects. Their attitude collectively to the cops are like "fuck you" and we don't care.
Yeah.
Like you're like pig, whatever. Like we don't give a shit about you.
Yeah.
And so they're very dismissive to the police. But they basically we don't see them apprehend the rest of the, well, we do see Keaton. So they,
I feel like the real crux of like the beginning of everything, I guess we don't see them collecting everyone else, but
the only two we see them grabbing are McManus and Keaton.
Keaton is kind of like the focal point of this very beginning when they like go and grab him.
You're made to believe at one point, just to give a semi-spoiler, you're made to believe at one point that he is Kaiser Soze, this sort of mythical crime figure. And so in the beginning of the movie, you see two apprehensions take place. You see them break into McManus's apartment, grab him out of bed, and then they interrupt Dean Keaton is at a lunch or dinner with a work dinner or work lunch with his lover, lawyer, Edie Finch. Is it Finch?
Yeah.
Edie Finneran. And so basically this is a big deal because he's having lunch with prospective clients who are going to invest in this restaurant business he wants to start up. You don't know at the time, but the agent who arrests him, Dave Kuyan. David Kuyan, who is the agent who arrests him, knows Keaton and is like kind of smirking at the fact that he's arresting him in this very public way because he essentially ruins any ability for Keaton to get investors. Like it was such a public thing that he does in arresting Keaton's character, in arresting Keaton, the character. Gabriel Byrne plays Keaton. In arresting him, it was such a public event that when he gets out of prison, Keaton is like, they've ruined me. Like,
yeah, but why is he also gleeful when he arrests him?
Well, Keaton was supposed to be dead. He fakes
knows
his death.
Keaton because Keaton was a former cop.
He was indicted 7 times while on the force.
Yes, so
never convicted.
This guy's a cop coming into a restaurant, arresting a guy who is supposedly dead
and a former cop, and a disparaged former cop.
Disparaged, yes. And so he's got a big old smirk on his face when he's arresting him because he's like I got you.
Yeah,
like, you are a dirty cop. Yeah, you're supposed to be dead.
Like you get the sense that he's been chasing this guy for years.
They have some sort of history,
right?
For sure.
And Keaton even Kuyan even tells this to Verbal, who is Kevin Spacey's character. He even tells Verbal in their interview, I was told that Keaton ran into a building checking a gas leak. Like he was told by multiple sources that Keaton died. He's like, here's and you're gonna laugh about this. Like Dean Keaton was dead. And this is why Kuyan is so focused on Keaton and tries to even convince Kevin Spacey at the end of Kevin Spacey's character at the end that Keaton is Kaiser Soze because
he is the kind of guy
who would fake his death
in the past that he is
would kill when needed.
This elite schemer,
he's a mastermind.
Yeah, he does have this mastermind thing to him.
So then it cuts essentially from these two arrests, to a group of characters put up in a what do they call it? A lineup essentially.
And famous. This is one of the most iconic movie scenes in movie history. Like if you might even know this scene and have never seen the movie.
Honestly. Yes, you might have seen this scene in scrolling through Instagram reels and YouTube shorts. Like you might have come across this scene.
I don't even know how to describe why it looks so beautiful. I think about
There's
when you just see the
it.
scene, just the way it's shot, like them standing in front of that lineup, this white background. You can see kind of like you're seeing them through the pane window. I don't know. It's just such a beautiful shot. Right. It's one of the most iconic movie shots ever.
And the funny story behind the scene is like much like we talk about Gary Oldman back when we discussed Leon the Professional, the iconic everyone line was a joke. It was not meant. It was not meant to be in the movie.
Yeah, just kind of
Gary Oldman did it
yeah.
as a joke, and yet it becomes one of the scenes that he's most known for as a character. The character Gary Oldman plays or portrays, like it's one of his most memorable scenes by accident, because the director loved it so much and used it. Well, very similarly, in Usual Suspects, they are in this lineup, and apparently the entire day they were shooting the scene, the actors could not keep it straight. Like, they were laughing, they could not, like, I don't know if it was a combination of the goofiness of the line they were supposed to say, the fact that they were all saying it consecutively.
Do we want to say why they're in this lineup? And that probably brings us to also the title of the movie.
Right. Yeah,
the Usual Suspects. So I guess it's a line that comes from Casablanca.
Yeah.
Where
I read that too.
Arresting someone in a scene in that movie.
Bring in the usual suspects.
They say bring in the movie. They say bring in the usual suspects. And so literally they're bringing in some of the known, like criminals in like New York City.
In the after scene to the lineup, Keaton brings that up. He's like, Keaton basically says the reason we're here is because the cops are grasping at straws. Like. They don't know who did this, and so they're just bringing in people that they know who are criminals.
AKA the usual suspects.
Right. So they're bringing in people who are high-profile criminals that they're just going to like, maybe we could by accident pin on one of these guys.
Also, I think just based on that too, also just one of the greatest movie titles ever.
Yeah. And so they're all meant to read this line, and I don't know if Ray remembers it because we were like reading this line before we filmed.
Because like they also do variations of the line, but I'm pretty sure it's
hand me the keys.
Hand me the keys, you fucking
cocksucker.
Uh-huh.
Maybe I might bleep this out. But yeah, it's basically they're trying to get one of these guys on a voice match, right?
So like they got 5 guys in lineup, and they're like, guy number 1, step forward, say the line. And he's like,
right.
And
they're just cracking. The rest of the guys are cracking up during the scene, and that actually is real. They were laughing.
Yes,
they could not keep it together.
The actors were just losing.
They could not keep it together,
and I think they were trying to also make each other laugh too.
Right, and so like the director was annoyed, and a lot of the producers and people who in the background who were shooting this shot were annoyed.
But it's one of the great things of cinema, especially with talking again about the Gary Oldman thing. Gary Oldman did that, screaming everyone.
Right.
It's like, wait, you want to bring me everyone? And he just turns and goes, everyone. That was a joke from Gary Oldman. Yes. He did not expect that to make in the film. Like these, in the Usual Suspects in this lineup, when they're all laughing, I doubt any of them thought this was going to actually make it in the film because they were like literally losing it. They were breaking character.
That also seems to be a tradition between directors and actors. Like I remember this. I remember running across this interview with Josh Brolin where he is talking about. I think it's Josh Brolin in No Country for Old Men, and I don't know if it's Brolin. What is the guy's name? Who's the guy who plays the dude in?
I knew you were talking about. I feel like isn't it Josh Brolin?
Is it Brolin? What's the name? I can't think.
Maybe
of it.
That's wrong, but that
might be
feels
wrong.
Like it sounds right to me.
That doesn't sound right. Because who's the dude? Yeah, look that up. Who's the dude in? Who plays the dude in?
The Dude Abides?
Yeah, I'll cut some of this out. Now that we're searching.
We should do that too.
We should do that movie.
Hold on. Cast. Josh Brolin.
Oh, okay, I was right. Okay, never mind. I was right. Look at that. Okay, so there was the reason I bring him up is Ray mentioned in Leon the Professional, the director chose a cut that Gary Oldman watches the film when they're screening it, and he's shocked while in the movie theater that the director used this take. I imagine many of the actors in The Usual Suspects were shocked when screening the film that the director used the take he used.
Maybe he just ended up using a take because they could just not get through the scene.
Well, in No Country for Old Men, there was this interview that Josh Brolin did with I can't remember who the outlet was, but he was talking about the scene where he finds the satchel and opens it with the money in it, and he was talking with the Coen brothers about what he should say when he opens the satchel. He's like, "What do you think he should say?" Because like initially the scene was supposed to be he's just silent, and he was like, Josh Brolin goes to the Coen brothers. He's like, "I think I should say something when I open the satchel. I should say something."
When you see something, say something.
And the Coen brothers were like, "What do you think you should say?" And he was just like, "Huh." And so in the movie, in the released film, this is what he says. He opens the satchel and he goes, "Huh," and then he just looks around, and the Coen brothers kept that in the film as a joke because when they screened the film, when that scene came up, Josh Brolin, his character does that, and he was in the interview. He said every time that scene came up, he would hear it in the audience during the screening because the Coen brothers were there. He would just hear the Coen brothers laughing their ass off in the theater. So I feel like there's a tradition of like the director keeping something in the film without letting the actors know that. That seems to be like based on the fact that this is like a running theme through multiple films, that there's some license between like a little play that happens between directors and actors. And this scene in Usual Suspects is testament to that, where it's like, okay, they could not get through the scene. Maybe, like Ray says, maybe the director
had to go with it
and the studio just got tired, and we're talking about a movie,
it's a low budget film.
Yeah, we're talking about a $6 million budget film. They don't have a lot of takes to make here, and so maybe they just went with it because they're like, screw it. It's one of the things that makes the film, like that scene, the goofiness between the characters. The goofiness as a symbol of their disdain for the police, makes their characters. It really ties in with their characters.
Yeah. So, you got him reading off. I mean, he pretty much reads the line straight. The next guy, Baldwin's character,
he basically like throws in some extra ad lib in there. He's like,
should we say it?
I mean,
why the fuck not?
Yeah, he's like, "Give me the keys, you cocksucking motherfucker!" You cocksucking motherfucker! And then Benicio del Toro.
And this is when you get the jits of Fenster, because like this is where Del Toro takes liberties with Fenster, because like he literally makes him a character where you don't understand.
You can't understand what he's saying. Yeah,
but I feel like
that happens.
You get a sense that Baldwin and Fenster have worked together before.
Well, they have. They even say that, right?
And like Baldwin, I think gets what Fenster say.
Well, when Fenster, not to spoiler, but when Fenster dies, Baldwin says we've been working together. Like Baldwin's character is basically the one trying to dig a grave for him. Right, he's like, we've been working for 5 years. Like there's an honor amongst thieves there.
Yeah.
Where
but
Fenster's
anyways,
kind of a brother in him.
Fenster just says. He has this almost mumble tone to him. He's just like, and then the cops go like, press the button to speak. In English, please. And he's like, and Fester's character's like, oh, okay, give me the key, you fucking cocksucker. What the fuck?
And then Keaton's character.
This was before mumble rap, too.
Right. So yeah, it's funny. And in Keaton's character and Spacey's character, or Keaton and what's his name? Verbal. Keaton and Verbal. So Burns' character and Spacey's character do a very straight take for it. But they're you can see them laughing in the scene. Like they're all trying to like keep it together. The thing that Ray brings up with Benicio del Toro's character is funny because even in a scene like following that, they're doing like one-on-one interrogations, and Benicio del Toro is just like does not give a fuck. He's like sitting at the table and he's like, "Can you hear me in the back?" Like he's like, "Hey, in the back, hey.
I'll flip it. Flip it real.
You flip it. Flip it real."
So he's like threatening cops. They can't even understand that he's threatening them. He's like, "I'll flip it. Flip it for real."
So it goes to that. It goes from that to like, it becomes clear that they have all been like this whole reading this line.
It's a joke that they've been pulled together in this lineup because they don't, like, again, as Bob said, the cops have nothing.
Right. But it's also intentional that they were brought together. You learn that later from Kobayashi. Like, unfortunately, Keaton's love interest, Edie Finneran, was a little bit too effective. Keaton's love interest is a lawyer, and she was able to get Keaton released quickly, which meant that when Kobayashi comes to them, he says, "Well, we couldn't keep the rest of you in jail with Keaton gone." They were meant to be together at that lineup. They were brought there for a reason.
Yes. Why does this is a good question. I guess I don't remember why this happens, but so that scene ends. They all depart.
Right.
Keaton goes back home with his lawyer girlfriend to a fancy apartment. And all of a sudden, Kevin Spacey's character shows up. And it's like, why does he do that? Well, the job, essentially.
I think
they want to get back at the cops.
Yeah. Is it giving away to say more right now?
But why does he do it?
Well, I think Kevin Spacey's character knows he needs to have Keaton involved. Keaton's going to be the fall man later on.
But he says that too, also in that scene, in a convincing way. Where he says, well, they won't accept me.
Yes.
So I guess we should bring this up. Kevin Spacey's character is like crippled.
Yes. He says they will only take me if you're... Well, now, we don't know if that's true. This is what he tells Keaton. But he also says to Keaton, we need 5 people on the job to do it my way. Verbal, is it verbal? Verbal, yeah. I always want to say verbit. I don't know why. Verbal basically tells Keaton, like, if we do it my way, nobody will die. On this first job that they do in New York City to hit this corrupt cop.
Yeah.
Cab service.
So they want to get back at the cops, essentially.
Yeah.
But also make money.
Yeah. And so he basically tells Keaton 2 things. If we have 5 people on the job, we won't kill anyone. And then 2, they won't take me unless you are in on the job. Now, we don't know that that's the case because, funny enough, in the scene before, Stephen Baldwin's...
No, that's how... Okay, this is how it gets brought up. Okay, that's just what I forgot.
Stephen Baldwin says to everybody, hey, I got a job if anybody's interested.
They're all in a cell together after this lineup and talking amongst themselves.
Right. And so Baldwin's basically like, hey, there's this job. Who in this room is in on it? Which gives you the thought that he's willing to take any of the people there. Like that. This is why
He's like, I know Fenster's in.
Right. And they do like a little fist pump.
Again, saying like they know each other. They've obviously done jobs together.
My point here is that it doesn't come from Baldwin that he won't accept Spacey's character. Spacey's character talks to Keaton directly alone, separate from the rest of them. So we can't trust that what Kevin Spacey's character tells Keaton is true. But it's clear that he wants him as a part of this group.
Right.
I think he's trying to convince him to be a part of this group. And he convinces him with the angle of, let's bleep over the cops.
I think we should always also say, if we haven't said it already, the story as we're telling it right now is being told to... So, we talked about the ship at the beginning, right?
Right.
The movie starts kind of at the end. And then all of a sudden, you're in a police station in New York City. Kevin Spacey's character is sitting in an office waiting to be interrogated by a cop. Mm-hmm. So the scenes we've already talked about with the lineup and stuff, this is what Kevin Spacey's character is being interrogated by cops. So we're getting flashback scenes while Kevin Spacey's character is telling a story to, what's the cop's name?
Kuyan.
David Kuyan. To Detective Kuyan.
Right.
So he's sitting in a detective's office, telling a story to the detective. All the scenes we've talked about, other than the boat scene, which takes place at the end, are part of a flashback sequence leading up to
the story being retold.
Yeah, leading up to the events at the end of the story that the detective is trying to figure out what the hell just happened.
Now, it's interesting that one of the interesting things that happens is that Kevin Spacey's character even bothers to talk to Kuyan because it's revealed early on in the film, hey, this guy doesn't have to talk to you because he has immunity. Kevin Spacey's character has been given immunity. He does not need to talk to Kuyan.
Some sort of government official, yeah.
The mayor,
it's never like really.
The mayor wants him out. The governor wants him out. Yes. Like basically, like everybody on high.
He's protected from on high.
Yes, he's protected from on high. Right,
but he's willing to tell a story. This is very interesting. Now, that he does this too.
Kevin Spacey's character plays it off to Kuyan, saying that who's protecting me is actually Kaiser Soze.
The guys who want me dead.
Right. The people who want me dead to tell my story are the ones trying to get me out of jail because they're going to pick me up 10 minutes from when I leave this place. But he also plays it off as he's a lifelong criminal, so he doesn't trust the cops.
Right. So let's go back to Kevin Spacey's character. Obviously, flashback sequence after the lineup.
He's telling the story. He's telling the story from his perspective.
Yeah. After they're all in the jail cell together, they all go their separate ways. They all go home.
Stephen Baldwin's character, McManus, says, hey, there's this job I have. Anybody who's interested, let's go in on it. It would be very lucrative for us. Eventually, Kevin Spacey's character, Verbal, is able to...
Everyone's in on it except
Keaton. But Verbal is insistent that Keaton has to be a part of it. And so it took a few quotes. It took a few days of convincing, but they were able to get.
I think one important thing we do learn from the scene is that, as you referred to later, it is a reference that Kevin Spacey's character. What is his character's name?
Verbal.
Verbal's the man with the plan. I mean, he's intelligent.
Verbal, the man with the plan.
Schemer.
Even Redfoot says that, so he's even aware of it.
Like Verbal's character. Like, even if he is, like, physically challenged,
right.
like, mentally, like, he is the one coming up with plans. So, like, that is maybe how he contributes to the script.
Right. And so, basically, we go from that scene to, there are some cuts that happen at the hospital, because while this storytelling is going on between Kevin Spacey's character and, David Kuyan, there's another
there's
interrogation.
One survivor.
There's one Hungarian survivor who they pulled out of the water, who's got 60% burns on his body, who they don't know who's going to survive or not. But he drops the name Kaiser Soze.
Latimer Kaiser Soze.
And so they bring this guy who's a cop for the San Pedro, California Police Department.
Happens to be, if you're a Breaking Bad fan, Gus Fring.
Okay. Gus was, what's his last name? Gus Fring.
Right? I think I have that right.
Yeah, a much younger.
Much younger,
yes. So he essentially is in this hospital bed. He's about to walk out of this hospital bed. He's like, whatever, this guy. And then all of a sudden the guy dropped. He can't understand him, but the only two words he understands are Kaiser Soze. And he says the name Kaiser Soze. Now, this is a mythical crime boss, essentially, both among those who are criminals and those in the police department.
I've heard this name before.
Yeah. And so essentially he's like, this man knows Kaiser Soze. And so he brings other people, a judge and like other people into the hospital room with him. And there's this whole interrogation scene where they're like, essentially throughout the movie, there is
trying to glean as much information from this guy as they can.
Information from the guy, but also like
sketching.
They have a sketch artist there.
Yeah.
Tell him what he tell her what he looks like. And so they have a translator there to tell a sketch artist what he looks like. So
you can't go back and forth to this guy throughout the movie.
So you get shots back to this hospital room bed where they're trying to do a sketch of who Kaiser Soze is. From this sole survivor of this boat attack event. And it cuts back to the usual suspect gang, and they do their first job together, which is to knock over the corrupt police department.
What is it called, though? They have a name for the driving service.
It's a taxi service. There was a name for it. I can't think of it right now.
God, I would hate not to get this right. I feel like it's something finest taxi service.
Yeah, there's a essentially like historic like corrupt cop taxi service that is offered that was stopped because Internal Affairs was getting wind of it.
New York's finest taxi service.
New York's finest taxi service,
which essentially is just cops driving someone around.
The cops pick up a guy in their cop car and have him in the back, and they're driving around for protection.
Because who's going to mess with the cop car?
Right.
Yeah.
Exactly. And the cops are just taking cash, straight from the person they're giving a ride to. So they knock over this taxi cab service. Essentially, it's this great scene where it's like 4 vans, and they box the cop car in. Like the van that's in front of the cop car slows down because the van in front of them brakes. And then 2 vans drive up on the side of it, block it, and a van in the back comes and rams it.
And they all open their windows. They all have shotguns.
Yeah, they have guns all on all 4 sides around them. One of the usual suspects gets on to the top of the cop car, starts pouring like some sort of chemical on top of it, and lights it.
Flammable chemical, yeah.
Yeah, lights it on fire at the end of it. They get the emeralds, they get the dirty money that was passed to the cops.
And because the cop car was on fire, like the cops are screwed. They get caught.
Well, actually, Keaton, apparently, this is why one of the important reasons why Keaton was vital to this. Keaton,
maybe more than any of the other ones, really wants to fuck up the cops.
Yeah, he essentially, and this is Kevin Spacey narrating, right? Kevin Spacey's character is narrating the film at parts. He narrates this moment where he says that Keaton was important because he knew contacts in the press, and he called the press early so that the press showed up on the scene before the cops did. And so this is how they cover their tracks.
He said the cops got it, the sergeants got it, the mayor got it. Like, I don't remember the line exactly, but it's like, it was the way he ended the line was like, it was beautiful.
Right. So basically it becomes a corrupt cop story rather than a heist story. So that's how they cover their tracks with this job. They collectively decide to go out west to LA to lay low post job, and but that's also where McManus's fence is, and this is another famous actor who plays Redfoot.
Yeah, another '90s famous actor who. Yeah, I can't think of it's kind of crazy that he's also in this because like given the low budget and how many great actors are in this movie.
Oh yeah,
he's in not Reservoir Dogs. What's the other one?
He was. I've seen him, and I'm like, I know this guy.
Not Reservoir Dogs. What's the other one?
In Quentin Tarantino movie?
Yeah.
Pulp Fiction.
He's in Pulp Fiction at the end. He's a cop in Pulp Fiction.
I'm gonna pause. Ray, beer me.
What do you need?
Give me the.
There's a duality in the classic IPA.
Give me the lighter green can.
Oh, this one?
Yeah. The higher one. Give me go big or go home.
Go bigger.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like it's crazy because like the actor I'm thinking of who played Redfoot at the time, he was huge. He was in The Mask. He was in Pulp Fiction. I feel like he was huge at this time. He definitely fizzled out.
Yeah,
I haven't ever seen him in anything after the 90s.
Yeah, that's right. It's surprising. He's a testament to the level of acting.
Away or something? What happened to him? I honestly have no idea.
I have to look him up.
Happened to this actor.
Like, yeah,
it's kind of crazy how he just like disappeared. Because he was very good. He was a very good actor.
I forgot he was in The Mask. I'll have to look him up. Yeah. I don't know. He really does fall off the map, but it's a testament to the film and the level of acting that they were able to get this guy and all the collection of actors they were able to get on a $6 million budget. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. So they go out west at McManus's, suggestion, and they meet this fence. They give him the emeralds. They get the cash for the gig.
They're laying low, but then they take on another gig.
But immediately Redfoot says, given the fact that this is a quality group of criminals, he's like, hey, I got another job here. And you learn later that actually it's Shoot, what's that? It's Kobayashi who gave them this job through Redfoot. So the secondary job, he gives them the money, but then also in the same moment says, "I have another gig for you if you're interested." And you learn later that Kobayashi told Redfoot to give them this gig, which was to essentially hold up, another.
Is it gig in California? Where is it?
It's in California. Okay. The rest of the film happens in California.
And I feel like they make their way back to New York.
No, they don't go back to New York. They stay in California.
With the Edie in the office?
No, I mean, you learn later. Like, Edie's character is brought to California to have a meeting with Kobayashi.
Oh, interesting. Okay.
That's how
For some reason, I always thought that was in New York.
No, it starts in New York, and I mean, I wouldn't have known this had I not watched it back, but it starts in New York and then immediately leaves New York. And after their first job, the rest of the film happens in California. But
Keaton's character needs some convincing.
So Keaton's character basically.
Keaton's character wanted to go straight.
He looks at he tells Redfoot a couple things. He says, "Hey, did you know?" Because Redfoot was familiar with Spook Hollis, and he's like, "Hey, do you know Spook Hollis?" And Redfoot's like, "Yeah, Spook is a good man. He's a friend of mine. Like we used to run jobs back in the day." And Redfoot was like, but he got shivved apparently while he was in prison. And Dean Keaton looks at him and says, "Yeah, I was the one that shivved him." And he's like, "Better you hear it from me than someone else." Mm-hmm. And Redfoot's like, "I appreciate that." But he and McMahon,
he's like, "Was it personal or business?" He's like,
a little bit of both. And McManus comes back into the scene. He's like, "Is there a problem here? Hey, Keaton, you're gonna fuck up our spot here." And then Keaton's like, looks at McManus. He's like, "It was one job. One job. That was the deal." And then McManus looks back and Keaton's like, one job. And then you hear Kevin Spacey's narrating. And he says, "It took a few days, but we were able to convince Keaton. A man can't change who he is, basically." And so they go back on the gig. Their thought is they're gonna.
You're stealing some diamonds or something.
Well, this basically Redfoot tells them, "Hey, this guy's got merchandise on him. I can't remember what the merchandise was, but he was like, he also carries a bunch of cash. I figure you keep the cash, I get the merchandise. Fair is fair." And so they rob this guy, thinking that they're gonna open the suitcase that's full of cash, and it's full of cocaine. Mm-hmm. And they're everybody in the car, as soon as they open it, is like, "Fuck," because they've just gotten themselves. They understand that they've gotten themselves in deep with the sharks here. Mm-hmm. To quote Heath Ledger, in Dark Knight, "She was deep with the sharks."
Yeah. So as soon as they meet Redfoot again, McManus is on.
McManus immediately they're walking up, and McManus tosses him this bag of drugs. Says, "What the fuck is that?" And he's like, "Oh, what the fuck am I supposed to do with that?" He's like, "I don't know. Feed it to the gimp."
He tries to pull a gun on Redfoot, but they have the upper hand. I mean,
right?
They're just outgunned.
Yeah, point. And so they're basically Keaton steps into that moment. So
what they learn
this deal goes wrong, right? Yeah. They kill everybody involved. This deal that Redfoot gives them, they kill 3 people. They kill the 2 guards and the guy holding the briefcase. Whose name's Saul, apparently. And they find out that there's just a bunch of drugs in this briefcase, not cash. And they're really scared because they've just gotten themselves in deep with somebody. Like, somebody owns these drugs, right? There's a cartel or some other organization that's involved with these drugs. And so they realize they're now in some deep shit for killing these people and grabbing these drugs. And so they confront Redfoot about this. And Redfoot's like, "I don't know anything about this. Like, this is not the information I was given." And so Keaton steps in and said, Redfoot mentions a lawyer, and Keaton steps in and says, "We want to meet him." And he holds back McManus. And he's like, No, we want to meet this lawyer. And so they meet the lawyer, who is the lawyer of Kaiser Soze, Kobayashi.
They don't just meet him; they surprise him.
Well, no. The first thing is
the first one is a meeting.
The first is a meeting in a bar. Like they're playing billiards, and they meet him, and he basically he basically reveals in that moment that they're all here because they've all stolen from Kaiser Soze.
It's the first time Kaiser gets brought up.
Yeah, well, he brings up the name Kaiser Soze, and Kevin Spacey's character is like, who's Kaiser Soze? He's the only one in the room who doesn't know that name.
Everyone else is shocked.
Right. Everyone else is speechless.
Looks on their faces.
And so they're like, why? They collectively they're like, why should we believe you? Like, are you just using that name, to get what you want? And the lawyer holds up a briefcase and says, a gift from Mr. Soze. And it's their rap sheets. Each of them has a full, inside the briefcase is a manila folder for each of them, which is like their entire criminal history. And basically it's blackmail. Like we know who you are, like we know everything you've done. And so they all get really pissed off about this. Now, what happens interim between them going back to Kobayashi and learning about this, that they've all stolen from Kaiser Soze, Fenster takes part of the money from the jewel heist. He takes a chunk of the money and tries to run. Mm-hmm. They find Benicio del Toro's character, Fenster, on the beach with a bullet in his head.
Yeah. I guess Kobayashi somehow communicates that? Tells them where they can find him?
Yes.
When did he do that?
Well, we don't see it because Kevin Spacey's character is talking to Kuyan and says, this is a moment where the movie cuts back to the interrogation room, and Kevin Spacey's character says, Fenster tried to run off the money, and then Kuyan's like, well, how'd you find him? And he's like, we were told where to find him, basically. It's like, and so then it pans back from the interrogation room to a beach scene where they find Fenster's body, essentially. Mm-hmm. He tried to run. Because he tried to run, Soze's people, Kaiser Soze's people killed him. Mm-hmm. And so then it becomes personal for McManus. And he's trying, in that moment, he tries to bury Benicio del Toro's character, Fenster. He tries to bury him in sand, and Kevin Paul, what's the actor's name? Kevin Pollak's character, Todd Hockney, is basically like,
great idea, buddy. You bury it.
Yeah,
they're gonna smell it a mile away.
It's dry sand. You bury him, and the surfer's gonna smell a mile away. And so it cuts from that to like they are going to get retribution in this lawyer. And they confront the lawyer in a meeting he's about to go to. We don't know at the time, but he actually is about to meet up with Edie Finneran. And they stop him in the elevator shaft. They stop the elevator. Stephen Baldwin's character shoots the two guards, has his gun on Kobayashi, the lawyer. They go up to a different floor, and they're basically threatening Kobayashi. And they're like, you're full of shit. Like, Kaiser Soze's not real. Like, this is bullshit. Like, you can get to us, but now we can get to you. And then Kobayashi's basically like, well, I'm about to go to a meeting with Edie Finneran. And so that's when...
She's like, before you pull the trigger, can I finish my business with Miss Finneran?
And before he walks into the room with Miss Finneran, so they entertain him. He's like, bullshit, she's up there. They entertain him. She's actually there. He's about to have a meeting with her. But before he goes in the room with her, he turns around and says, along with Edie, who's in danger, your father, Mr. Mr. Kent, your father won't be safe. Mr. McManus's nephew David, we might just castrate.
Yeah.
And then Hockney's like uncle or something they would kill. Like he basically they know he throws out names of people who are family of each of these individuals who he's going to harm if they don't do what Mr. Soze wants them to do.
And what Mr. Soze wants, I don't know if we said this yet, is them to
stop the. So there's some cat and mouse here, right? Mm-hmm. They've been told that they are going to attack a ship to stop a deal between the Argentinians and the Hungarians for a cocaine deal that would revitalize the Argentinian cocaine industry.
Yes.
Mr. Soze can't have that happen. And so that would, per the lawyer, Kobayashi, this would cut into his business. The revitalization of the Argentinian cocaine industry would cut into the Soze business. So Mr. Soze would like them to, quote, stop the deal.
Yeah.
And he's like, there's $91 million in cash. Mr. Soze doesn't care if you wait until the cash is on the boat and you take the cash for yourselves. Those of you who survive. He's like, he also says, Mr. Soze does not expect all of you to survive. Yeah. And so it's a suicide mission they're going into. And he's like, whoever's left can take the leave the cocaine, but take the $91 million in cash with them. Now this is all bullshit. That's not what's happening.
Do you want to say anything about the backstory of Kaiser?
Well, in part, at one point in the movie, Kevin Spacey, there's a scene in which it pans back to the interrogation room between Kevin Spacey and David Kuyan.
The California cop at one point, he brings up the name with the New York cop. I think he doesn't go. He comes to New York, right? Doesn't he?
No, they're in California.
Oh,
the guy who Kuyan flies to California.
Oh, are they in? Okay, so I guess
they are in California.
So weird. I guess I never realized this entire time.
But no, basically, other than the early scenes of the movie, everything takes place in California.
So the California cop goes to the New York cop and is just like, "Hey, have you ever heard Kaiser Soze?" And then there's this flashback storytelling. Well, Kuyan eventually, right after that scene where he's like, "Hey, have you ever heard of Kaiser Soze?" Kuyan's character comes into the room where he's interrogating Verbal Kent, which is Kevin Spacey's character, right. And is like, "Who the hell's Kaiser Soze?" And then that's when you get the shit, and that's when you get the flashback.
Yeah, well, and you get this story from Kevin Spacey's character, Verbal, who gives the backstory of Kaiser Soze. Apparently, Kaiser Soze was a Hungarian who
just was like low level
drug dealer. Yeah. But because what he learned was you don't need people or weapons or money. You just need to be willing to do what the other guy won't do. Mm-hmm. And so there's this, basically, like, what he's insinuating is Kaiser Soze is this brutal individual who's killer who's willing to go to lengths that his opponents won't go to. And so he tells this famous story of Kaiser Soze goes out one day, his family is in their home, the rival gang breaks into the home, RAPE the wife, brutalizes the wife, has the kids, knives to their throats, waiting for Kaiser Soze to get home. And so that they know that they mean business, as soon as he walks in, they cut the throat of one of the kids. And Kaiser Soze's immediate reaction is to shoot his wife and shoot his other kids, and then kill the drug dealers there.
Well, when they ask why, what did
he leaves one of them alive to leave and go tell everybody else. And he tells that person who he leaves alive to essentially tell everybody else he would rather see his family die than live another day past this.
With them, with this pain or something.
Yeah.
And then he goes on to say, after that, he goes on to
But the point is, Kaiser Soze no longer there's no longer a weakness on Kaiser Soze's part. He no longer has a family to be leveraged against him. Mm-hmm. So now Kaiser Soze...
It's willing to do anything.
Yeah, Kaiser Soze now has... think about this, right? If I was only worried about me, then I could be killed. But if I have a wife and kids, then there's leverage against me. Yeah. I don't need to just worry about myself. I have to worry about my family. Yeah. And so the point is that Kaiser Soze, in killing this family, only has himself. There's nobody that can be used against him. And so he goes off and kills Kevin Spacey.
He kills all his rivals. He kills all his rivals' families.
The people who owed them, his rivals money, and then Kevin Spacey has this great line. He's like, and then one day he goes underground. And he's like, he's gone. just a ghost story. He becomes a ghost story that criminals tell their kids when they go into bed. Don't rat at your dad, or Kaiser Sose will get you. And there's this little smirk by David Kuyan. In that moment, David Kuyan shows an appreciation of the story, but he just a smile, a smirk on his face. You know, he appreciates Kevin Spacey's character. Like they're building a relationship, the two of them, in this interrogation.
So, anyways, that's the backstory of Kaiser Sose.
Kaiser Sose is this sort of mythical crime figure. Who people don't believe is real, but now
are very afraid of.
But are very afraid of, both in the crime world and in the justice world. So now this lawyer has revealed that he works for Kaiser Sose, and all of these criminals that are in front of this lawyer are, you know, buckling at the knees because they know the name Kaiser Sose, except for Kevin Spacey's character is playing dumb. So the lawyer puts them on a job that is suicidal. He basically says, "Not most of you, Mr. Sose doesn't.
We don't expect all of you
to survive. This is like a suicide mission, but those of you who do will have $91 million."
And then they also we also take into account the loss of Fester.
Right. Well, he says
Fester.
That he basically tells them, we won't hold this against you. Like the fact that they had this moment of retribution, that they were about to kill the lawyer. He's like, the 2 body cards you just killed will be added to the tab of Fenster. Sorry. So basically he says, like, this won't be on any of you. Like, we'll tab these 2 bodyguards to Fenster's account, what you just did right now.
So he's basically don't ever fuck with me again.
Right. Like
in the nicest way possible.
Well, that's why that's why the lawyer throws out the names of family members of each of the individuals, saying like, hey, we're just not going after you. We're going after your family.
He's like, you can kill me, but like your family's gonna die.
Right. Like you need to worry about more than just yourself. Sorry, I messed up my mic here. So
which brings us to the end.
This basically culminates here to the end, where they now don't have a choice, right? They have to, whether or not they die, or whether or not they live or die, they're going to go do this mission, and they're going to attack this ship. Now they learn later on that it's bullshit. There's no drugs on this ship. Like, so what is on the ship? What is it that they're going to attack the ship for?
Yeah.
And what we learn is there is somebody holed up in the interior of the ship. There's a prisoner in the interior of the ship that the Argentinians are trying to sell to the Hungarians. Hungarians who know Kaiser Sose. There's a man who can identify Kaiser Sose.
Yeah.
And was willing to testify in court to avoid jail time to identify Kaiser Sose, along with 50 other high-profile people, and he's locked away in the interior of this ship. And so it's a deal that's happening between the Argentinians and the Hungarians to sell this person from the Argentinians to the Hungarians, who can identify Kaiser Sose, so that they can topple him essentially.
The one man who could positively identify.
So what happens is, this is a great action scene. I mean, this attack of the ship.
This is a great ending movie scene for sure.
Right.
One iconic.
They're all in a car the morning of, scoping out this place, and Kevin Spacey's character is basically like, "Are we really going to go do this suicide mission?" And Hockney and McManus are both like, if I'm going in, I want to cut. And Keaton is basically like, it's impossible. Like, this is impossible. But they all acknowledge that there's no choice. They got to go in and do it. So the scene,
weird line that I kind of love in that scene. It's just kind of a throwaway line, but I think it's Baldwin's character says it. He's like, it's raining in New York.
Right. It's sort of that people who discuss the weather. It's like a throwaway line, but it's an acknowledgement of they're gonna die. I feel like that line is sort of an acknowledgement of we're all gonna die.
Yeah.
It's sort of like a filler. Like, people talk about the weather, right, as filler language. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's Baldwin's character saying the quiet part out loud, like, hey, we're all probably going to die. Like, hey, what about the weather? Yeah. So it cuts to nighttime. Baldwin's character gets on the roof with a sniper rifle. Mm-hmm. And
so this great line that I almost don't want to repeat.
Yeah,
there's a very offensive slur.
This is an offensive slur in something he says. Yeah. It essentially amounts to, he's like, okay, so to set up the scene, they exit the minivan. It's nighttime. It's the ship. They've scoped out the ship they're going to attack. Really, there are only 3 players here because, is it Verbal? Verbal stays back, right? Keaton tells Verbal's character to stay back. Mm. He wants him to live. And so the 3 characters who are really involved in the attack of the ship are Dean Keaton, Michael McManus, and Todd Hockney. Mm-hmm. And so Keaton is walking along the plank towards the Hungarians.
He's pretending he's like part of this whatever's going on.
Yeah, and so the first shots of the attack on the ship are Keaton walking along the plank, and then McManus's Baldwin's character setting up a sniper position on the roof.
Baldwin's character has a sniper position on a roof overlooking.
And Hockney sets up an explosive that's going to, like, an explosive is going to happen that helps the situation. Like McManus is counting the people, right? He's like, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And he laughs to himself and he says, Oswald was a FAG.
Yes.
Basically,
took a cheek like Oswald.
Yeah, we had to shoot one guy who killed one man. Yeah. Didn't have it as bad as he has it. It's like he's about to be an expert sniper on like multiple targets. Mm-hmm. So Keaton is walking this plank line towards the ship to this group of Hungarians, who then intercept him, and as he's sort of having this small talk conversation with them, a bomb then explodes that then disturbs the situation, allowing McManus to start picking them off.
Like a bunch of confusion. McManus starts picking up people off. Also, Keaton's character just pulls out two pistols
in his pockets. Right. He's like pretending to keep his hands in his pockets because his hands are cold. What he really has is 2 pistols, right, that he draws. McManus and Keaton enter the ship. Hockney stays back. Hockney at one point identified a van that may or may not have the cash in it.
Yeah.
Now he does go up so. McManus and Keaton both enter the ship to try to find the drugs, because their main goal is to destroy the drugs, because that's what Soze's asked them to do. Mm-hmm. And the cash was secondary. They can keep the cash if they find it. And so Hockney stays back. I don't know. Now, this is one point where I'm like, I don't think that was intentional. Like, I don't think that he was supposed to do that. I think he kind of was like going to screw the other 2 out. Like, he was going to run away with it. Yeah. So Hockney goes up to the van and opens the back of it. He has killed the guy that was guarding it. He opens the back of it. He does find cash in there, and his character's killed right there.
It almost has like a Pulp Fiction moment where, like, you ever remember like they open this suitcase in Pulp Fiction,
it's gold, just like gold flashing.
Didn't he have that? Like, did the exact same thing happen to him? Like, he opens something up and like it seems like gold is flashing.
Maybe it's been so long since.
But then he's immediately just killed.
Hockney dies right. He's the first one.
Someone shoots him in his back. While
shoots him in his back.
He opens the back door to this van. He opens up something. He
does find cash in there.
He finds he's like, oh boy, I've made it.
You
probably get the sense that like he's ready to just take whatever he's found and drive off. But like he immediately gets shot in the back.
And then he turns around and he'll
like
probably get shot.
Glowing light over him, and then just.
And so then, the remaining survivors are Keaton and, we don't see Verbal. I keep referring to his name. Verbal, yeah. So Keaton and McManus are the two that are on the ship killing everybody.
You see them just picking people off like here and there.
They're just going through hallways, shooting people down. Eventually, they meet up with each other, and Keaton tells McManus, "There's no coke."
They're in like they're in
like
almost
a loud
the
turbine.
The bowels of the ship. You can hear like a loud turbine going, and Keaton's character goes like, "There's no coke. There's no coke. I've seen every
been through every room. I'm telling you, there's no coke." And McManus' character's like, "Don't fuck with me,"
He's like, "I'm out of here."
And so they depart each other. And like mid shot, sort of like shots that happen in between that are this guy who's stowed away in the cabins, and a door gets opened, and this guy's like huddling in this room, and he's like, "I'm telling you, he's here. He's here. Kaiser Soze's here." Mm-hmm. And the guard is like, "Shh." And then later on, the doors opened up again, and it's like half his head is missing, and like, this guy's dead.
Yeah, you see the same guard, and he's like, "I'm just dead."
Yeah, and so you realize that Kaiser Soze's gotten into this room to kill him.
Oh, so you see the guy, but you also see like Kaiser Soze's shadow over him.
Yeah. I told them nothing. I'm telling you.
You also you see like you just see like the circular window, like like ships just have these like circular windows. Yeah. Like you just see like the flash of gunshots.
Yeah, it pans out to like a shot from
boom, like 3 shots
outside of the ship, and it's just a circular window. You can see a flash inside the room.
Isn't that the guy that they pull out of the wreckage?
They show a shot of him being pulled out of the water.
Is it the same guy?
Not the burn victim.
Who's the guy they pull out of the water? I have no idea.
We never learn. He speaks Hungarian, so he's.
For some reason, I always thought it was that same guy in the room.
No. Kaiser Soze kills that guy. So then it pans to Keaton is on the outside of the ship, just like baffled about where these drugs are. Like, what is he looking for? He doesn't even, at this point, he doesn't even know what he's looking for. And so he
just Baldwin's the character emerge.
Well, he turns around and he's like looking, he's got his gun out, and all of a sudden there's this doorway, and Baldwin's character figure shows up in the doorway walking towards him. And he's like, McManus. He's like, and McManus is like, the strangest thing. And he just falls
over,
dead.
and you just see a knife sticking
There's a knife sticking out of the back of his neck, essentially. And Keaton's character is the last one alive. He doesn't know that Hockney's dead, but like, he's the last survivor. And all of a sudden he gets shot, and he spins around and is laying on the ground. And then there's, again, we've come at the end there, we've come back full circle to the beginning, where this figure is going down the steps to meet Keaton to kill him. And so the movie shifts back to the interrogation room for the rest of the film. The rest of the film happens in the interrogation room. And he's basically like, what was the detective's name? Kuyan. David Kuyan basically is asking Kevin Spacey's character, you liked Keaton. Why didn't you help him? Why didn't you save him? And Kevin Spacey has this great line. He's like, how do you shoot the devil in the back? What if you miss? He's a cripple, right? He is like this weird, his hands in a weird posture. He's like, what if you miss? And he admits to Kuyan, like, I'm going to leave here and I'm probably going to be killed. And so Kuyan is trying to convince him, like, stay, like, turn states, like, we'll protect you.
Well, he has this diatribe, though, first about Keaton, right? It's like...
Oh, well, yeah. He's like, well... Kuyan tries to convince...
Kuyan has come to the conclusion that...
Verbal. Well,
Kuyan has come to the conclusion that Keaton is Kaiser Soze.
He has this great dry tribe. He's like, a man who could fake his own death, a man who could kill, a man who could kill Edie Finneran.
And she was found dead in an apartment this morning.
And then Kevin Spacey's character's like, Edie's dead. And he starts doing fake crying.
And then he's like, it was Keaton's idea to do something.
Do the job, wasn't it? Wasn't it? Like the hit, the New York hit.
New York hit. It was Keaton.
He's like, it was Keaton all along. I didn't know. So like Kevin Spacey's character is like playing the fool. And he's like, they fooled you, Verbal, because you're weak. because you're stupid. He's like, why would you do that? I'm weak, I'm stupid. He's like, they did that because you're weak. Because you're stupid. Turn states evidence. He tries to convince Kevin Spacey's character to do that. And he's like,
become a witness for the state. And Kevin Spacey's character is just like, I'm not a rat, Agent Kuyan. Yeah. And he just walks out.
Yeah, he's like, basically, fuck the police, basically. And walks out. And
then you get
the greatest scenes, closing scenes in movie history. This is the greatest closing scene ever in a movie. He's sitting there and he's talking to somebody.
Meanwhile, you have to remember we mentioned this earlier on in our talk about this. The guy who plays Gus Fring, the other detective, has someone who's sketching Kaiser Soze, the guy who survived, sketching Kaiser Soze out.
Right.
This entire time that this is going on. And then this is about to come full circle.
Right. And so, let me find these quotes that I had. 1 second. What happens is you see at the end, he's sitting on the desk. His buddy, who he seems familiar with this California cop.
He tries to talk Verbal into like turning state's evidence.
Right. Well, I'm talking about Kuyan is now sitting in the room that he was interrogating.
Well, I want to say that Verbal walks out. He
He
decides not to turn state's evidence.
Yes.
Decides not to be a rat.
Right.
Which doesn't seem like
Kuyan.
It doesn't seem that odd, really, for like someone who especially is in the criminal field.
So he's talking. So Kuyan now is talking with another cop, whose office he's commandeered to do the interview throughout most of the movie, and he's jabbing the cop about how messy his office is, and the cop is like, you gotta have everything spread out, to really see the picture, and like he's giving a reason for why it's like an organized mess in his office. And Kuyan's like, your office is a fucking mess. And this agent's like, you really got to have it spread out to really see the full picture. And so Kuyan has his back to the other officer, sitting on the desk, drinking a cup of coffee. And now he's perusing everything that's on the walls that Kevin Spacey's character was
facing the entire time.
Yes. And I will say this. Earlier on in the movie, before Kuyan enters the office, you see Kevin Spacey's character before the interview even begins. It's very early in the movie. His head's going this way and that way. Like you see Kevin Spacey's character going like this. He's like reading,
examining
the room. And so the agent Kuyan starts picking up on things in the room that had been referenced earlier on in the film. And one of the
a fantastic it's a great montage.
Here's some of the quotes, right? I used to be in a barbershop quartet in Skokie, Illinois. He sees the logo on the pinboard, Quartet Skokie, Illinois. Back when I was picking beans in Guatemala, we used to make fresh copy. There was a lawyer, Kobayashi, and he's reading these things in the wall.
You just see he's like this paper with like it just says Guatemala on it.
Yeah, he's like Redfoot used to be Redfoot was a big fat guy. Like I'm talking orca fat. Like and so he catches all of these things on the wall
on the board.
and he's like, oh shit, this guy made up the whole story. This guy was making up names. Maybe not the whole story is made up, but he was picking names from things in the office. And he drops his coffee cup.
Yeah, the famous scene is like, you almost have to watch it to get the full picture.
He pauses drinking his coffee and drops the mug.
He all of a sudden, he's drinking his coffee and all of a sudden starts dropping it. And that's when you get the full picture where you're like, Redfoot this, blah, 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 that. Skokie, Illinois this, blah, blah, blah. Like, as you see the coffee cup.
And the final thing was
falling.
The final thing that happens that you see is the broken coffee mug in the ground. And he's staring at the bottom of the mug. And it says, the bottom of the mug is branded Kobayashi.
And you fucking see, there is a definite scene in this movie, early on in the movie, where like he hands Kevin Spacey's character a cup of coffee. He's sitting at a desk, like he has been the entire time, the detective's desk. Detective's sitting at a desk. Kevin Spacey's on like a lower kind of like field of plane.
Right.
And you see the cop's drinking his cup of coffee, and you see Kevin Spacey's character, he's like drinking his cup of coffee, but clearly staring at the cop's cup of coffee. Right. The bottom of the cop's cup of coffee.
Right.
Which happens very early on in the movie, I feel like.
Right.
So again, he like picks up this name Kobayashi, which is total bullshit, early on. Right. From just a stupid coffee cup branding.
So then the cop, I keep forgetting his characters' names. Kuyan. The cop, the agent Kuyan, immediately starts to realize what has just happened.
Yeah. And he's been played. Kevin Spacey's character is already out the door. Story is made up. Like, you question everything. Like, is everything we just experienced all a lie?
Right.
Because we're getting it from Kevin Spacey's character.
The narrative of the movie has happened through Kevin Spacey's character. Mm-hmm. So, like, how much of this is reality versus, like, a fantasy? Mm. But all we know is that this person is not who he says he is. Mm-hmm. And that is learned by Kuyan, who has discovered that names and things have been pulled from the room that they interrogated in to create the story. And so
you will see this like cut back and forth between Kevin Spacey's character walking out of the police station.
Yeah.
He's walking like a cripple. His leg is pointed sideways. He walks. All of a sudden he cuts back to the cop. He's like, where's the cripple? Yeah. It goes back to Kevin Spacey's character. All of a sudden his leg starts to straighten out. He starts to walk straight. He's been playing this fucking cripple the entire time.
Right.
Cut back and forth. And then you see Kevin Spacey's character, boom, light up a cigarette after he's started walking straight. He looks at a car next to him. It's fucking Kobayashi. Who the fuck knows what his real name is? But the lawyer that we've been talking about, who's been working with Kaiser Sose the entire time, is sitting in the car ready to pick up Kevin Spacey's character.
Right. And then there's this great...
All of a sudden, also you see in the printer, it's starting to spit out.
It's spitting out the image that the sketch artist has done, which is a spitting image of Kevin Spacey. And you hear this great, maybe the most famous ending to
obviously
a movie.
Kevin Spacey is Kaiser Sose.
Right.
But then you maybe one of the best ending lines of the movie.
Where essentially it reverts back to something he said earlier to Kuyan, where he says, the greatest trick the devil ever pulled was convincing the world he didn't exist.
And just like
that,
he's gone.
Like when he goes, like the screen goes black immediately.
Yeah. And it's just basic. It goes, dun.
He's gone.
Oh my God. One of the greatest movies.
The greatest. This is, if you love twists You need to. Well, I don't watch.
Definitely one of the greatest twists.
Don't watch this Split Personalities episode because we just gave away the twist. But this is the greatest. Fuck M. Night Shyamalan. This is the greatest twist that's ever happened in film. Like, this is the greatest ending to a movie I can think of.
As someone who loves movies and watch twists, I've seen The Prestige, and that's there's a great twist in that movie. We'll talk about that movie eventually. Great twist at the end of that movie. I've loved early M. Night Shyamalan. What the fuck? His famous
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense. I feel like this holds up better than that because you just don't see it coming because they play the characters so well.
Character.
Kevin Spacey's character just seems like a weak, feckless.
Yes.
And I don't want to say moron because they do paint him as intellectual in the movie,
right,
but
he comes up with some of the plans.
But you don't. You seem so unassuming and weak and feckless.
Right.
And I think even after being someone who's seen so many different movie twists or whatever, I think this is still. If I had never seen this movie before and seen all these other movies with twists or whatever, I feel like this still would have surprised me because the characters just play their characters so well.
Yeah, I mean, there is like we said with Leon the Professional, it's sort of a one of one. I cannot think of a film to relate Usual Suspects to. I feel like it is, even though it does enter that space of noir film, crime noir and twist and thriller and all that kind of stuff. There's nothing really that's like it, and the twist that happens at the end of the movie is so unique that when you see it for the
first time. It's so brilliant. Boom, he's just talking from the board. He's just making up a story based on what he sees in the room.
No, as the audience, you immediately piece together everything I've seen before. You start to question, oh my god, he was kind of the whole time. Oh my god, he was playing the cops again. There's this funny thing he says to Kuyan at the beginning of the movie where he says, a cop thinks very simplistically. If somebody killed somebody, and you think it's the brother, it's most likely the brother. The cop, one of the reasons that Verbal's character empowers Keaton is he says that Keaton was a cop. He thought simplistically like cops do. And that you see later on with Kuyan, it's Kuyan thinks that Keaton did it because he's so hung up on Keaton. Kuyan cannot think about anybody beyond Keaton. And so much like Kevin Spacey's character derides cops, the cop in this scenario falls into that same pattern of thinking of the simplest answer is the answer.
Yeah.
And he's Keaton told you to do this, didn't he? And Keaton da-da-da-da-da. And Keaton was somebody who could fake his own death and da-da-da-da. And Keaton was Kaiser Soze. And
Keaton was Kaiser Soze. The kind of man who could the kind of man who could blah blah blah. The kind of man who could kill Edith Fearon.
And so but it falls back into that trap of cops think simplistically, which is what Kevin Spacey's character brought up early on in the movie. Yeah, he knows that's the brilliance of this film is you understand that the character that Kevin Spacey's playing knows cops and how they think, and so he's playing the cop that who's interrogating him. He is a mastermind. He's playing this cop and playing on his assumptions and his honestly
playing on his hatred for Keaton. Yeah.
And masterfully manipulates him, in doing so.
You even think of the beginning of the movie too. I feel like the first time I'm trying to imagine myself as the first time seeing this.
I'm trying to remember the first time we watched that film.
Yeah. And seeing Keaton say, very beginning of the film, say, "I can't feel my legs, Kaiser." And that's a very important line. And I feel like it just like kind of gets lost in the rest of the movie. Like even though like I feel like even though like hearing it, I'm like, ooh, that like line stands out. Like he said that for a reason.
Right.
And that just kind of gets lost in the rest of the movie because, you know, hey, love him or hate him. Like obviously Kevin Spacey's a terrible human being, but like he plays his character very well.
Right.
And the character becomes very unassuming throughout the movie. And even though you heard that line in the very beginning of the movie, I feel like that gets lost because of how well he just kind of played as like this side character.
Right. Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, I feel like, you know, again, this film is one of one. I mean, there's nothing I can think of that's like it. You know, I can't compare Usual Suspects to. I can't think of another film that I would compare it to. Like, if you like X film, you'll like Y film. Like, I just can't think of another movie that's like
so either. Like, I don't even like. If you like noir films, you'll probably like this film. But like,
it's so different
it
though.
Feel like classical
it's
noir.
a true crime film, but with a twist at the end. Like, it just feels like it
exists in like a different universe.
Yeah. I don't know. I couldn't even tell you.
I couldn't even relate this movie. I couldn't relate to like Seven or like I don't even know what to relate it to.
Yeah.
Yes, this is a movie with a twist at the end, but like I can't even relate to other twist movies.
Well, the other thing is I can't even think of like who the director is for this.
Because in a weird way, you weren't really expecting a twist at the end.
No, and
do you know like it feels like in most like movies where there's a twist at the end, you're expecting that to happen.
Well, again, M. Night Shyamalan, you've come to with like if you go in watching
certain like Christopher Nolan movies, for sure.
If you go in watching certain directors' films, you think, okay, like there's going to be like I'm going to be standoffish here because I expect a twist of this film, and I feel like there's no anticipation of this. Like in Usual Suspects, when the twist happens, you're like, oh my god!
You're like, holy fuck, shit!
This is fucking crazy. Like this shit is insane.
The board stuff happens. You're like, wait, what?
Yeah, when Kevin Spacey reads that last line, the devil, the greatest trick the devil pulled was making the world believe he doesn't exist. Just does that. He's gone. And then it cuts to black in the credits roll. It's like there is nothing like that in cinema. There is nothing to this day. There is nothing that amount that might be the greatest ending to a film that's ever happened.
Yeah.
Like I cannot think of a film that has ended and cut to a credit that has left the audience like like I can
genuinely.
Ray and I are not old enough to have seen this film in theaters, but I can only imagine the crowd.
We definitely saw this in the 90s. I feel like our sisters
did we see it in a theater though?
Showed us this.
Well, yes, but what I'm getting at here is imagine yourself actually in the theater seeing it during the release.
No.
And just be like, I imagine that this is a movie that cut to credits and the audience is just sitting there being like, oh my god, like unable to respond because of how intense that ending was.
Insane, like
it left you speechless.
Yeah,
it left you being like, I question everything I thought. Like I question everything that I had built up in my mind during the course of this film.
Yeah, I feel like the film definitely begins with some sort of like mystery, but like I don't think you're ever expecting, if you were someone to, maybe I said this already, but like if you're someone who has never seen this movie before, you watched it today after seeing all these M. Night Shyamalan movies and all these Christopher Nolan movies, like I bet it would still surprise you because it's just like that well played. And you definitely know in the beginning there's some sort of mystery going on, but I don't believe anyone can guess the sort of the twist and the beautiful narrative at the end that is kind of laid out with Kevin Spacey like having so thoroughly conned this cop at the end. Like there's no way you could have predicted this or seen this twist if you're just watching this for the first time. I personally believe.
Yeah, it's a masterful piece. It's again, I don't think that there's any film that's Ray and I have watched true crime, movie and TV series. There's nothing like it, and it was formative to our the years in which
I feel like our sisters showed us this. And
much like Leon the Professional, I feel like
So in a way, I feel like we were kind of like the hip people who knew, like, hey, Kaiser Sose is in the '90s because, like,
it was like oh.
Now it's kind of, I mean, if you don't know film, but I mean.
Yeah, if you don't know who Kaiser, if you don't understand when somebody brings up the name Kaiser Soze, if you don't understand the reference, like, you're not a real film buff.
No, in any sense, because like, I mean, if you've not seen this movie, I mean, come on, I don't know.
You need to pause this episode.
You need to re-examine your life.
Yes, you really do need to question everything about your life and about the course your life's taking.
Mm-hmm. Even though it has Kevin Spacey in it. You gotta get over that fact.
Look, we gotta get over that Kevin Spacey sucks. I bet you years, 5 years, 10 years from now, we're gonna be like, a lot of other actors and actresses suck, and we're gonna love the films that they produced and movies and TV that they produced. So, anyways, I think this is a good point
else to say about this one?
I don't know. Are there any final thoughts about this? I mean, I would say again.
I don't know. I feel when it comes to like anime and films, like I don't know, the '90s and music, like I don't know.
We're a little biased here.
The '90s were just so great. Like, oh my god,
the '90s were eclectic, where you could be into anything. I feel like
the '90s were a period of experimentation.
Yes,
sure.
I totally agree. In music and film and TV and anime, it was a period of time where you could. Nowadays, I feel like you try something and you're just judged for it. Like, I feel like you could try something and, like, just fail and it'd be okay. Like, it's like, this is different. Like, people appreciated different back then. Mm-hmm. Whereas, like, everything is like, oh, let's make a remake of this bullshit franchise. Like, let's make a remake of this. Like, let's be Hollywood-esque and just try to make money off of this venture. Or play it safe.
Yeah.
The 90s were about experimenting and not being safe, playing it unsafe, being different. Like, different is where you made your bones. And, that shit doesn't exist anymore.
I feel like there's a reason why, like, like our podcast has focused on so many different, like, 90s things, whether it's Cowboy Bebop or Leon the Professional or, I mean, I guess technically...
we're going to talk about Gundam MS-18 at some point.
That's definitely 90s thing.
That's 90s.
I feel like at some point we'll get to the Samurai X movie.
Yes.
We will. The 90s were just amazing.
The 90s were a time in which you could experiment. Yeah. And it was before this whole early aughts, late aughts of, like early to mid aughts of just... Let's just make a prequel, sequel. Like, everything nowadays is a fucking sequel of a franchise that already exists. Mm-hmm. It's all boring bullshit. Like, let's reboot something Let's remake something that was perfect.
Let's remake the Resident Evil series. You know what? The remakes were good, and I will say that. But,
I was about to bring something else up. Hence, let's Netflix remake Cowboy Bebop, which did not need
terrible.
Awful. Did not need to be remade into a live action bullshit. But yeah, it's just like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles is a great example. Like that franchise has been revitalized multiple times now into the 21st century. It's like that's not any good. Like,
I will say the last anime version was with Seth Rogen.
Okay.
being part of the project.
Where he's undercutting this
was pretty good, I think. But yeah, there are just certain things in the 90s that 90s were just a different time. It's hard to explain if you didn't live through it. But it felt like a time of experimentation, and like you could do that.
The 90s were a time where, like, let's think about it this way. The 90s were a time where Nirvana, pop music, and other like hip hop, like those coexisted and were popular at the same time.
Yeah.
Like it was an experiment. It was eclectic. There was experimentation happening in the 90s, and even in anime, like you think about the Batman series, like the grittiness in the Spider-Man.
The adult, I mean, holy shit! Like
the bridging of adult and child.
The fucking forms. Batman animated series or episodes, I think it might have even been the Baby Doll episode I referenced earlier, but like there was an episode that fucking won an Emmy in the 90s.
Right.
That's how good it was.
Yeah.
You could like talk about real shit.
That shit doesn't exist anymore. It's sad, but it doesn't.
90s were different. I loved growing up in the 90s.
Yeah.
Honestly.
I mean, you got all kinds of shit. Anyways, we are going to sign off. This has been Split Personalities. We're done with our rant and complaining about the generation that's currently watching us on YouTube. If you grew up in the 90s, you're a real one. You understand you
understand the show.
You understand
we are
the show.
Very much, I feel like, a 90s show.
Yes. You understand the show, and you understand what it meant to grow up in the 90s, what it meant to be a real one, like growing up in the 90s. And
if you're Gen Z, like, hey, like you're welcome here.
We'll teach you how to be
space.
A real
We'll
one.
teach you about
stuff.
We'll teach you about our shit.
We'll teach you about collecting Pokemon.
Good shit, like collecting Pokemon when they only used to be like 100 or whatever. Now there's like 1 million.
We'll teach you how to connect 2 Game Boys together so that you can battle with your friends.
Exactly. 2 Game Boy Colors together.
There you go. That's the real life lesson you need to learn. Get out and meet people in real life for once.
Yes.
What I have to say.
Go back to the theaters.
Yes, theaters and human interaction. Touch grass. Go back to that.
There you go. I mean, that is a Gen Z thing, so I mean, maybe they're going back to the 90s.
I don't know.
They're going back to, you know what? They're going back to the 90s and early 2000s in their fucking, what the fuck they wear. The baggy clothes they wear.
Okay, is that a thing now?
Yeah, all the shit they wear.
I don't know anything about Gen Z. I'll be honest with you.
All the shit they wear is like baggy now.
Yeah, well.
Like it feels like they're going back to the early 2000s.
Okay, well, all I have to say is this has been Split Personalities. That's Bob and this is Ray. Love you all. Gen Z, we forgive you. And
90s forever.
90s forever. We are a product of the 90s, and we will see you next time for some other cult classic film we're going to talk about.
For sure.